Hi YouTube, this is your average Vaper here. Today we're going to be talking about the Griffin 25 RTA. It's a nice RTA, pretty tall. It does come in two versions. There's a top airflow version, which I have here, and there's one without the top airflow. Top airflow is kind of controversial because it can and it will cut down flavor, and we'll talk about that in the later on in the video. It is by GeekVape, and it's a 25 millimeter tank. So I know there's this big trend going on right now with 25 millimeter tanks. Anyways, let's go to the close-ups and look at it. Alright, so here is the GeekVape Griffin RTA 25 millimeter. It stands about 48.5 millimeters tall, and like I said, it's 25 millimeters wide here on the base. If we look at the 510 pin there, yes, it is nice and protrudy, so it will be very good for your hybrid top caps as well. So here is where your Griffin 25 will be held at. Imagine there's a cap on this. I seem to have misplaced it. Anyway, so your Griffin 25 is going to be sit here, and under this little flap is all of your goodies. These goodies are going to include this extra glass here. This is like a frosted glass, and it has a little rough feeling on it. It looks really nice, and I'll put it on the Griffin as well so you guys can see it. As well as a little baggie of O-rings. There's a lot of O-rings, as you can see, as well as different colors. So it has a Tiffany blue or this orange there. It also includes this piece right here, which is so you can change out the included drip tip to put on your own standard 510 drip tip. Another thing that comes with this nice little tool here. It has two different size hex nuts, as well as a Phillips. Now this one I believe uses this side here, but this is a handy tool, and I find myself using this for other RDAs or RTAs that I have. It also includes this piece here, which is so you can run this in single coil mode, as well as it has a little hole there for airflow. Here's a quick look at the frosted glass replacement for the Griffin. Alright, so back at the Griffin here. Up top here, we have the included drip tip. It is a very nice drip tip. It is kind of wide bore, and I like it a lot. I haven't had the need to switch it out to another standard 510 drip tip. Right below that is the top airflow, and it goes one way, so it opens up this way, and then it closes this way. And I'll show you how that looks like when we open this up. Then it has GeekVape here, the tank section. You see Griffin around the build deck, and then on the other side it has the Griffin symbol. Below that is going to be your airflow. It is very nice, very open airflow, and it is very clicky. Clicks open, clicks close, but it only goes obviously one way to open, one way to close. I like this airflow a lot. It hasn't switched on me or anything like that. As you can see, look, there's plenty of airflow there. You can even click it to close, and whatever is on one side will be on the other. This is a top fill tank, so what we're gonna do is open this up right here. Like so. There is an O-ring right above these threads on this top piece, and then it reveals our very, very wide juice fill holes, as well as the chimney here. And I don't know if you can see this. There you go. There's little holes right underneath here, and that is where your top airflow is going to go. It's going to go in through those holes, down, and then back up through the main chimney. Alright, so to expose the deck area, just grab onto this little nubbins here, grab up top, and twist. And there's our deck area. So this deck is a velocity style deck. It's about 17 millimeters wide, so it can hold big coils. As you can see here, I have a dual fused Clapton in here. And as you can see, the airflow runs right underneath the coil, so it does help for flavor that way. And they're very wide airflow holes. They're about 4.5 millimeters wide. And over here on each side of the airflow, you can see where you put our wicks. It's 2 on each side. And then there's this ring here. This ring here can come on and off. It just slips on and off like this. And it's so you can put your wicks in there much easier. Getting this back on is a little finicky, especially when you have your wicks in there. But once you get it on, it stays on. I haven't had this thing come off on me or anything. Not sure if I mentioned this before, but this tank does come completely apart. And it helps so you can replace this glass here just in case if it breaks. All you gotta do is just this where it says GeekVape here. Just hold that and just twist it off. There you go. Expose this little cap here with the chimney. And then boom. There's our tank comes off. Now there will be O-rings here as well on this top piece here, if you can see. The first time that I took this apart, the O-rings actually stayed onto the glass. So just be mindful that when you put this back on, that both O-rings are there. And what we're going to do is just replace it with the frosted glass that it came with. So all you got to do is just place this on here. Take this piece and then just screw it on. I haven't had any issues with cross-threading it. And there we go. Okay, so for wicking this, I find it, I don't want to say cumbersome, but it is kind of a task. What I like to do first is take off this ring here. Take it off. And place it right back down. And then just put my wicks through. Okay, so I'll take my cotton here. Just kind of stick it in there. There we go. I got a fuse clap in here, so I want it to be kind of snug. Alright, now that I have both coils wicked, what I do next is I try to push these kind of down into the channels. I do that so I kind of have a rough idea where to cut. Kind of push that down like that. As you see, it kind of makes a small indent in the wick. And that way I know, okay, the ring sits here. And I like to cut mine right at the ring, maybe a little bit past it. There we go. Now I have a nice little indent in all my wicks. And what I'm going to do now is just take my scissors here and cut them. Alright, now I have my wicks cut. Now I'm going to take this ring, kind of place it on there. And when you do this, this is the one thing I kind of don't like about this, is that this is very difficult and you have a chance of catching your wick inside the threads. And yeah, it's not wanting to screw on for me. Here, let's try it this way. Oh, I'm gonna have to do this off camera. Yep, finally got that ring on. And like I said, it's kind of cumbersome and it's kind of a pain. But eventually you can get your wicks in there, just like that. Now, just like with any RTA or anything like that, you're gonna wanna prime your wicks up. Alright, now that you have your wicks all primed up and everything, we can put this tank back together. So what we're going to do is take this, slide it right on, screw it down. There we go. One thing I do have to say about this frosted glass here, it does making to see your juice flow holes a little bit difficult. You can see it once they're all the way closed like they are now. And when you open them up, they kind of go away. I just want to check it all the way around there. But since we're filling this up, I'm going to close them. Close them just like that. And take this and just kind of squeeze it in. Like I said, these are very wide, so I haven't had any issues here filling this tank. Yeah, I fill it to about there. Okay. After we fill it up, take our top cap here, Just screw it out back on. There we go. Now, as you can kind of see it now with the frosted glass. It kind of makes it a little bit cool looking. But now that we have it all juiced up, there we go. Now we have all 4 wick holes open. Okay. So that was a nice little breakdown of the Griffin 25. Let's take a sec up to face view and vape on it. Alright, so that was the up and close of the Griffin 25mm tank. And let's vape on it and see how it goes. Yeah, so the flavor on this thing is very nice. That again, I have it with the top airflow closed. Let me try it with the top airflow open. Yeah, with the top airflow open, it's almost like there's no flavor whatsoever, and you're just kind of vaping plain VG, PG with no flavor whatsoever. I suggest if you just love flavor and you want a 25mm tank, just get the one without the top airflow. I think you save a couple bucks with it. It does come in 2 colors. It comes in black, like I have here, as well as stainless steel. This thing holds about 6 mils of juice, so I find myself only having to refill it maybe once, twice a day if I'm really chain vaping it. If not, I can go almost a whole day without it. I haven't had any leaking issues. If you use the technique that I showed you up in the up and close, where the wick is just under that ring there, you shouldn't have any issues. I haven't had any. Some people like to put the wick all the way down. I've tried that and I found that it doesn't wick very properly and I get some dry hits, especially if I'm kind of chain vaping it. Alright, so some quick pros and cons. Some pros about this that I really do like is the juice capacity. Like I said, it's 6 mils, so it can go almost all day without having to refill it. Another pro is the airflow. It is very big, very wide, and I just get a lot of airflow from it. I haven't had to turn it down or anything. This is definitely a lung hit, not so much mouth to lung. I found turning the airflow down a little bit, let's say to about halfway, it starts getting kind of whistly, as opposed to all the way open. So there's that. If you like to do it not as wide, I wouldn't see why you would, because why not? Because clouds, bro. Another pro that I have is the deck. The deck is very nice. It is that velocity style deck, so it's very easy to build on. All you do is just put your coils in and you're rocking. Another pro I have is the top fill system that is here, with the giant, very wide kidney shaped holes there. Anything that I've put in there will fill it just fine. I won't have any issues. You saw with this little bottle here, it's very, very big and it still can fit in there just fine. Another subjective con that I have is the size of the tank itself. It is 25 millimeters wide, and with the included drip tip here, it is roughly 65 millimeters tall. That's a tall tank. That's almost half the size of my mod itself. Kind of subjective, like I said, because it is kind of big. It's kind of top heavy, especially with it all filled up. So this thing, when I set it on the table, I'm always scared that it's going to wobble over. Another con that I have is kind of the wicking method. Like it's like you kind of saw in the up and close that I kind of had to go and look and try to screw the little ring on there, and then make sure that my wick wasn't all like caught in the ring and everything. It's kind of a pain. But once you get it in there and you wick it right, I don't have to worry about it. As long as you wick it right, that's it. That's the little asterisk there. All in all, I like this tank a lot. It holds a lot of juice, has a lot of airflow, and it is very flavorful. Now, if we go over to elementvape.com here, they are selling it for $30. Yep, $28.95 for the standard stainless steel version. So the standard version is without the top airflow here. Like I said, if you really want like clouds bro clouds and just want all of the airflow, the top airflow version for stainless steel is $2 more. So you'd be spending $30.95. And if you want the black version, it'll be $1 more than that. So it would be $31.95. Big question of the day, is it worth it? I think it's worth it. For $30 for a very big tank and that holds a lot of juice, it's worth it. That's going to wrap up the video now on the Griffin 25. If you like this video, you want to see more, please leave a like. And if there's something that you think I can work on and make my videos better, please comment in the comment section below. Other than that, you guys have a nice day.